7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is the Finisher Podcast. News, views, and predictions from the world of pro wrestling. And whatever this is.
None of your commentators knew what the hell was going on! Cole said, hey, that might have been a big moment. And then you know what they did? Pissed all over it.
Welcome to the Finisher. Here are your hosts, Jerry Pickering and Dan Nawrocki.
Here we go. Welcome to the Finisher for Season 3. Yeah, all that was muted because I forgot to unmute it. You know, nothing changes. I still screw it up.
Total bust-a-palooza.
Yeah, it is. Botchamania going on over here. Welcome to the Finisher. We're back. Season 3. Once again, picking up right before the Rumble. Next week, we will have our Rumble predictions. Oh, 2020 was a year, but that is now behind us, and now we look forward to the same crap that we've been watching.
Let me stop you right there. 2020 is behind us. No, it fucking ain't.
It's still here.
23. It's 23 days, and it's still the same goddamned year.
And Larry King died today.
Larry King died today. Hank Aaron died yesterday.
Yep. Who's next?
Don't even ask those. Don't ask that question.
Don't put that out in the universe. It's out there. It comes in threes. We know that. Jesus. All right, let's get into this. If I can find my links. There we go.
I do my best to repair them, folks.
Nope, I have it. I just had to find the browser. You know, we're starting off. You know, the Rumble is coming up here towards the end
Sunday.
of the month. Exactly. It's next Sunday. It's coming up here at the end of the month. Now, you know, the Rumble always leads up to is a star in the road to WrestleMania, which they do not have any top matches planned for it yet.
It's the biggest show of the year, so what are we going to do for it?
Let's wait.
No clue! Hey! This is extremely unusual, and it actually kind of leans to me to the fact that Vince doesn't have as much of a hand in the actual day-to-day product as maybe we're led to believe, because I have a hard time to believe, like, this is a guy who had ideas for Mania in his head as soon as the previous one was done. Like, he knew a year out, these are the guys I want in the place to headline my next Mania.
Yes.
It seems like we're going to get Roman Reigns and Goldberg, but who knows? Now Goldberg is going to go ahead in a week, in 8 days, and take the WWE Championship off of Drew McIntyre, because that's why else do you have him there? What else are you going to do with him? There's no...
You know, there was rumors
God only knows.
of, like I said, Daniel Bryan.
I've seen
going
that one,
against
but
Reigns, but
they've
I don't-
kind of moved away from that. This thing with Kevin Owens seems to be continuing, which at least we get decent matches out of it, but we knew, okay, 2 weeks ago, everybody knew there was no way that Adam Pearce was going to face Roman Reigns at the Rumble for the title. It was just a matter, and it wasn't even... It's one of those where you do something like that, and there isn't even a hint of an idea that they might have.
No.
Actually, you knew there was going to be some sort of thing, and it wasn't even that interest. He was like, yeah, I'm giving it to him. I'm like, all right, well, way to build the suspense there, boss.
It was wonderful. It was great news. So, we still got time. before Mania, but you're really for that big of a pay-per-view, you really should start building stuff.
Well, and it's
Soon.
again, and I again, it's not to say that there like sources there aren't plans involved. There just haven't sources haven't got to, but it's not a good look. And it
To not
is-
see anything starting to build.
correct. There doesn't seem to be anything going on the. Doesn't seem to be anything going on publicly. Will point this out because it's been the thing for the past 3 days because literally everyone and their mother has made the meme. So Ben, yeah, probably if Bernie wasn't in the crowd during SmackDown last night, you know he'll be in the crowd by Monday on Raw. And I think we're done. Like we're done with this meme, right?
Yes. Yes. We're done with the Bernie Sanders meme. It is
Because
played
y'all
out.
killed it. Y'all killed it.
Played out too much.
So it's done now.
You know, WWE not having anything ready and being planned. I mean, and it hurts me to say this because I never thought I would say this. Like I never thought I would see the Browns getting as far as they got this year.
I mean, you and me both.
No
boss.
offense.
Hey, you say that, but they're a blown call away from playing this week for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes. But people who have they got plans and they're running with them and it's going well is Impact
Well, it's Impact
and AEW
and AEW
because
And
now
that's-
them combining and doing stuff and now we've got the
You know,
AEW.
you have to admit that there's an industry outside of Stamford,
Yeah,
Connecticut.
there is.
And when you break the chains of being a Vince McMahon stan, you see that other things are going on, and that's a good thing.
Looks like you've got Private Party with Matt Hardy versus the Good Brothers.
Which has been a fun angle of Matt Hardy mentoring Private Party, which has just been fun.
Is it and it's
So, yes.
for the Impact World Tag Team Championships?
So yes, coming up was it No Sacrifice, right? No Surrender. Sorry.
No surrender. Sorry. Yeah.
Next month. Yes,
February 13th.
Yep, they will challenge for that. Which, don't get me wrong, and then there was an interesting sight a week ago at Hard to Kill when the AEW World Champion and the Impact World Tag Team Champions teamed up in the main event to beat the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. And I think the global, whatever Moose Belt thing,
Moose Belt.
it's a thing. So yeah, believe it or not, they're doing an invasion angle the right way. So once again, I mean not once again, but hey, Tony Khan and Don Callis have done something that Vince could not do. Pull off a convincing invasion angle. And I believe if I had it correctly, the Good Brothers will be on Dynamite this Thursday, taking on the Dark Order in a huge 8-man tag.
Thursday?
So, Wednesday, sorry.
Okay, I was like, wait, did they change it?
No, well, no.
I just wanted to make sure. You know, I'm enjoying the whole AEW product right now a lot more than WWE. And Undertaker, I think he probably would say the same because he was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and Rogan asked him, "Do you enjoy WWE as a fan? Are you close to it?" His response was, "I try. It's tough right now for me because the product has changed so much. It's kind of soft, you know." I mean, he's calling the product. So, can we just get him in there to help start running things? Maybe Undertaker can rough shit up.
Well, it is I'm of two minds of this because I read more into this, and he's wrong on one end, but right on some end.
Like, yeah, Rogan's like, "Are you gonna get in trouble for saying that?" Probably. I'll probably piss off a lot of people, but they need to hear it.
I mean, first and foremost, if someone with that stature says something of that damning about your product, maybe you should take a look at it.
Maybe
it's not running too well. However, the complaints further on down about the guys being soft, about it all being essentially Taker doesn't like flippy shit, and that is what comes out later on. Like, he doesn't want to see wrestlers that do the flippy shit and then go back to the hotel room and play video games. Why aren't you at the bar getting hammered and and banging rats like we did in my day. And that's the part that I'm like, all right, that right there is the old man yelling at cloud acid. Now,
Get off my lawn.
The actual criticism there is he's not wrong. Name something that doesn't involve the Fiend, that is something that has an edge to it, or a piece of a character that has an edge to it.
That whole angle with the Fiend, Alexa Bliss, that creepy shit is the best thing that they got going.
It is, and at the same time, you could even step back. It's the best thing going on, but it's also very bad that you have a supernatural angle. That's the only thing that's going on that's worth taking a look at.
Yeah.
At least in the main product. NXT is as interesting as even though NXT is doing weird supernatural things for like 2 or 3 different characters. That's once again the far superior product, and the Dusty Rhodes tag team on both the men's and women's tournaments are.
We'll get to that here in a little bit.
The first round are all jobber matches, but
always
they're still getting interesting. And we had the Fight Pit this past week, and there's a lot of things there. But you get to the main roster, and his criticism is valid. Like there's just nothing. When you say there's an edge. Like I said, there's no character that has that bit to it. Like,
no,
Kevin Owens has an edge, but it's now just seems forced. Like what he used to do.
I wonder if he was told to tone it back.
Right. And yeah, obviously, he would not have gone. He does not go as far on the mic as he used to.
We talked about Drew McIntyre, Goldberg. Talking about Goldberg. Another old man making another return. Sting's comeback match is official. AEW has announced that Sting will team up with Darby Allin to take on Ricky Starks and Brian Cage in a street fight on February 27th at AEW's next pay-per-view Revolution.
Which actually it's probably going to take place a week later into March. It sounds like they're going to push that back.
Possibly.
I didn't see a reason why that. It was just a recent thing that was reported that they may push Revolution back into March. Yeah, Sting for the first time in 5 years. And I'd be willing to bet, in fact, I'd be willing to put some money down that Sting will not take a pinfall in his debut match in a company.
That's never happened. Wait, that's never happened.
Still holding a grudge, Paul.
Did that happen?
And on the plus side, they're doing it right. So the guy hasn't wrestled in 5 years and has a bit of a tender neck, and they're doing it in a street fight, so he doesn't have to
take
do the
bumps.
Same type of work. Right. He doesn't have to take bumps if he like. Why do you think so many of the Attitude Era main events involving Stone Cold Steve Austin ended up being no disqualification matches? It's so a banged up Austin did not have to take many bumps. So that's what I see, and it's going to be exciting to see Sting in the ring once again. Even if this is a one and done thing, that's cool. Just give him a proper final match.
Yes.
And it's very cool to see the interactions with him and Darby Allin. The rub that Darby's getting, first off, he deserves to begin with, but secondly, the rub he should be getting from Sting, just awesome.
Could we get Sting versus Darby Allin for the NXT Championship? Sorry.
No?
Sorry. I got the next tab up. For the TN... Damn it, what is it? My mind's blanking. TNT. I had the T part right.
Maybe. It'd be kind of cool.
That's what happens when you don't fall asleep until 3.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be kind of cool. But I don't know. Like, it's possible to see that kind of thing come around to maybe you work it to all out, and now the mentor is going head to head with his teacher. Could be where they're going for it. Again, not angry, not unhappy about that possibility at all.
Not at all. So, reason why it's NXT. NXT, could it be getting the Knicks from NBC on the USA Network?
You had it right. Well,
Because NBC Sports is shutting down and moving everything over to their Peacock app.
this is an interesting move, a very interesting move from NBC, and it's going to be very interesting to see how USA is affected, because the main thing that NBCSN draws actual live viewers for is their NHL coverage. Like, that is the big thing that network has. That's like pretty much the draw. The NBCS, that and Premier League soccer. Those are the two draws. So with that going away, I imagine that's going to bring hockey back to USA, which is great because it puts that in far more homes than it was for NBCSN. You can tell what I'm a mark for. The question is, like they have built around Wednesday Night Hockey, so that does in fact mean that if that's the case, and Wednesday Night Hockey comes to USA, NXT either has to find another night, or will be relegated back to just the network. I imagine they'll just try to find it another night, but that all depends on what the new. Because there's the other interesting bit, because there's a new television package with the NHL kicking in next season, which would be this coming the fall of 2021. So where that falls into coverage, who knows? Will NXT become Peacock exclusive? Possibly.
That would suck.
But that would suck. Well, actually, they would probably push more coverage of the NHL that. But yeah, it would suck. They have momentum going. The other question is what that's going to do to Raw. Like, I know Raw is the highest rated program on that network, and I don't know what the comparison would be to your regular Monday Night Hockey game, which I know that NBCSN has carried at times. So either that, or there will be no more 3-hour Raw, because they will be done at 10 o'clock for the 10:05 puck drop for the West Coast game, which that is a very high possibility. They may do that, but that means that would cut Raw down to 8 to 10, which would be amazing.
Yes! That would be awesome, because no one wants 3 hours of Raw.
It doesn't
No one
work.
needs it.
Especially in the days of the brand split. You do not need a 2-hour or 3-hour Raw every single week.
I mean, we've got one thing that we were happy about when they finally just got rid of Raw Underground, because that was just a dumpster fire.
Yep.
The premise was kind of cool.
The premise was kind of cool,
but it was executed shittily.
And it was going to be difficult. Like, it was going to be something very difficult to pull off correctly. That entire, I will say this and try to cut them a little bit of slack, is the summer of COVID, you're really throwing a lot of stuff against the wall just to see what brings people. But at the same time, especially as the NFL has shown over the last several weeks, people are locked, are they're not going out. They're looking for more entertainment, and the opportunity is there to draw them in, and you haven't really been doing that.
Not at all. And, they're not going to get many views over on SmackDown when they do shit like an obstacle course.
Yeah.
But we just talk about Bianca Belair?
That's the only thing
and
worth
the
talking
strength
about
of this woman.
Now, Otis. Okay, so if you didn't see the whole thing, it was this whole obstacle course. Bailey trying to get Bianca to prove that she's worthy. I'm like, she already has. This is just on-air hazing, but whatever. And she got to, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Bailey fireman carried Chad Gable. There's no small feat there. That's still impressive amount of strength. I don't know if I could. I mean, Chad Gable is probably, 240, 250? I wouldn't be able to say that I could fireman carry him, and ain't worth a damn right now. But it wasn't Otis, who is a legit 330-pound man. And even with him helping, trying to balance, she lugged his ass.
Right over her shoulders. No issues, man.
Bianca Belair does not skip leg day.
No, she does not. Lifting and carrying Otis, if you haven't seen that, go check out I will see if I can share this here.
Well, if you haven't seen it, you should probably run over to thefinisher.com where this video here will be posted after the fact, and it'll be in our little write-up at the very end underneath.
Oh, shoot, I never even put that up. See, I got new things, and I haven't even used them.
He's got new toys, and he hasn't played with them yet.
No, I haven't put our names up. I haven't done nothing.
Oh, no one gives a fuck about us. It's
There we go. Now it's got our website at the bottom there.
It's the hairy guy and the other guy.
It's the hairy guy and not a hairy guy.
The hairy guy and the clean-shaven guy.
No, yeah, a little scruff, but not much. All right. Where were we? Bianca Belair and her massive carry of Otis. So
admiring Bianca Belair's strength right there,
Yeah.
which hopefully, and I believe I said this last year during the Rumble, that she looked that good in the Women's Rumble that I wouldn't be surprised if they were grooming her up and could win it. Now this year, even more so. She should be a favorite going into the Women's Rumble in 8 days.
I just put that video on our Facebook page. So if you want our Facebook page, go to our website. You should be here watching it if you're hearing us. So check out our Facebook page. The video is there of Bianca Belair carrying Otis.
Or if you catch us after the fact on one of your favorite podcast provider, you can go back to either the Facebook page or the finisherpodcast.com.
Everything is there. So, we've had a crazy ass year. Almost a full year. I think it's actually been one full year since the first case of COVID was discovered in the U.S.
Yeah, we passed that. Yeah, it's been a year.
Mick Foley had COVID. And he gave us an update as to how he was feeling.
And if you remember, this was we talked about this in our season finale, which was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I've got his little video here, and I'm going to go ahead and just play this video from the Hardcore Legend on how he's feeling.
Hello, everybody. This is the Hardcore Legend Mick Foley with a multi-purpose coronavirus health update. First of all, I want to tell you how I'm doing physically. Second of all, I want to encourage everybody to continue to look out for each other. I know there's an end in sight, but we have to be even more adamant. Continue to mask up, social distance, and look out for each other. And number 3, I just feel like complaining. I don't have anyone to complain to, so I'm going to complain to all of you. First of all, here are my symptoms. I can't sleep. I never slept well, but here it is, 5 a.m., like 10 a.m. in the UK and other parts of Europe. The Hardcore Legend is wide awake complaining. If misery loves company, brother, you have got some company in the Hardcore Legend. The brain fog, right? Like you can't think clearly, easily fatigued, and then perhaps worst of all, or maybe worst of all, the loss of strength is incredible. Like even when I was not exercising and I had forgotten and skipped doing the DDP yoga, I was doing like close to 50 push-ups, even at advanced weight gain. Now back when I was a little leaner, like I could reel off 60, as I did right before the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman Hell in a Cell match I refereed, the one I ruined by counting to 3. But in my defense, Roman did not raise his shoulder, and I was taught to count like it was a shoot. But that's besides the point. I was getting 60. But even with the weight gain, like over 300. I don't know what that is in kilos or stones, but it's a lot, brother. Let me tell you something. It's a lot. But even so, I was getting pretty strong, like closing in on 50. Boom, coronavirus hits, and now I'm at 12, 13. And you know how press-ups usually become increasingly more difficult? Well, every one of these push-ups or press-ups is more difficult. So I want to warn you, just urge you to look out for each other. And believe me, you don't want to catch this. It sucks. Look out for each other. Stay safe. Very soon, we all will have nice days. Yeah.
Tagline on this says, bottom line, stay safe. Mask up. Believe me, you don't want to get this virus. It sucks. Dan, you've got your mask. I've got one of mine. I've got multiple masks around.
I got
I mean, I've
masks
got
upon
another
masks
one
upon
here.
masks. I got Gator, like all right here too. I got a couple. I got this. I got another one of these. I even still have the homemade masks that we were all doing all the way back in March when we didn't know. I still have the things. They're just hunks of T-shirt I was tied to my face.
We need to get... I gotta take this off.
There's a mask. Oh, dude, there's a mask that I'll have to show it to you. I really, really want.
It's
It would only be for. It would only be for special occasions. I really, really, really want. But it's like $25, and I still may pull the trigger on that one anyway.
Have you seen the beard tent one? Because I know it's hard for you guys with the big beards, but it goes down and it comes down over your beard, so you're not like got a big old poof. Your beard's not puffed out. It's just like a tent, like almost like a apron over your beard.
The struggle for that is real. I'm not gonna lie. So I will admit I expose myself as many times as I can during the week by going to the gym, and that's always a struggle. So I have that little mask on, and I keep it on. I know I don't have to, but I keep it on for the duration of the workout, and then yes, you do have that, or even with the neck gaiters, it's all under this thing, which really all it does is just push it into your mouth, which it sucks. Eating beard the whole time. Why does that still smell like beef? And
Explain that a little bit.
So that will be fun. I mean, at the same time, I probably could just tie like a bandana on my face and get the same thing. But
It's
what remains. Do what the hardcore legend says. Back up and mask up.
damn straight. Do what you can. You don't want this virus. I don't want it. Speaking of beards, let's go to another bearded man. We've gone from Mick Foley to talk about your beard. Now we're gonna go over and talk about Aleister Black.
Yeah. The
Looks like they've got some big plans for him.
allegedly, because he's been off TV for a couple months now. He kind of disappeared from TV, and then his wife got fired, and he's remained off. And the reports are that there is a plan in place so he can make a big re-debut on SmackDown, which would be great. They could use him in many places there. Apparently has nothing to do with Zelina Vega. They wanted to kind of give him a break and then reintroduce him to the Fox audience so hopefully that happens in the near future. That could be a re-debut that we see in 8 days at the Royal Rumble. Because really, who else are you going to bring back right now?
I mean, you're not gonna get, I don't think, any bigger of a pop than you got last year.
No. Well, obviously, you're not going to get a pop. Period. This one.
It's true.
You're not gonna get a reaction like you got for Edge. I can't, like, off the top of my head, the only person I could think of who could come back to the Rumble and get that kind of reaction, and I don't want to fucking say it, but it's true.
Yeah, it is
John Cena.
Well, I was thinking someone else, but you're right. Someone who you're not gonna see, but if you did see, would get a huge pop would be CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but if it did, you would get, if it was a live crowd, you would get the biggest pop, probably bigger than you did with Edge. Because everyone has wanted him back.
Two side things, if you didn't see, they are bringing back WWE backstage. They are not bringing back CM Punk off the beginning, so that apparently.
Oh, they are bringing back WWE backstage? Cool.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about fans and pops, and it sounds like the next time that we will see fans at a WWE show will be WrestleMania. It's just a matter of how many they'll be able to get into the building, and what the restrictions will be behind that. Like the Super Bowl, which will be played in the exact same stadium about a month beforehand. I think they're looking for like 22,000 of a almost 70,000 seat building. Several thousand of that will be vaccinated healthcare workers. So I don't know if that means that all 22,000 they bring in will have to show proof of vaccination before they're allowed in.
Which you get a card.
Which I can't wait to get one. Believe that. I don't know if that'll be the case for Mania as well, but that is, and it's really hard that you think about that. That will be on April.
Hang on.
4th and 5th, maybe. I'm not looking at a calendar. I'm just trying to.
April 10th and 11th.
All right, I was off by a week then.
Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida, with the same logo from last year.
Well, I mean, it's still the Bucs Stadium, so it makes sense. But that will be the first show since March 20th of last year that will have people. The first WWE show that will have actual fans involved.
Yeah.
That's 13 months. That's it's unfathomable to believe, but that's the reality we're in now.
At least like with NXT, they've had some people in the crowd there, haven't they?
Yeah, they finally did sort of start bringing people in.
AEW does.
AEW does, but they're also outdoors and they try to sell in pods, so there's also space and there's more. If you've noticed, there's nobody anywhere near the ring at Daly's place. They're all kind of spread out. That's actually a pretty big outdoor venue, which is actually kind of cool for them that they've been able to continue to do that outdoors in January. Although winter is coming, winter literally came during that show.
Yes,
that was not in effect. Sting, you could actually still see Sting's breath.
So speaking of NXT, on the updated Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic brackets, following WWE 205 Live, so we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which is back. Once again.
It was interesting that they put a match last night on 205 Live. It's an interesting kind of little, hey, check this out, and they didn't screw around. They put Ciampa and Thatcher in that match. That was the first sign in like 2 years that they're actually trying to get someone to watch 205 Live. Because outside of that,
I've never heard it mentioned.
The only mention I have seen of it is the little ad that plays when I first bring up the Royal Rumbles that I've been going back to watch to review. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else.
So let's see here. The men's round 2, Undisputed Era versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, yes.
MSK versus Killian Dane.
Killian Dane.
That's what I thought. And
Mr.
Drake
Cross.
Maverick.
Yeah. By the way, and this is just good. This is just complete side thing before we go too far. First off, hey guys, call up Killian Dane. Like, why is Big Damo still sitting in development 5 years later? He's a monster who should have gotten a bigger shot when Sanity was a thing. But either way, his wife, Nikki Cross, on her social media, cut a promo basically saying she was done with this. She's coming to prove that she's serious. And why the hell has she not been allowed to talk this entire time? Oh my God. Go up to Nikki Cross's Twitter and find it.
Okay.
Because holy crap is she good. And I think she also has the best accent I've heard ever. But that's neither here nor there. It's a ridiculously good promo. And unfortunately it's like the crazy lady, then the crazy cartoon lady gone and exactly where it needs to go. In the trash can.
I like it.
If you let her be serious for a moment, I think you'll see something impressive.
So we've got some good matches for this the up-to-date Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. So looking forward to watching more of that. I've watched some of it, but I haven't watched all of it. So I'm looking forward to getting back and finishing that up. Now, you're
also going to want to check out this past week's NXT for the fight pit between Ciampa and Thatcher, because that was also good, clean, brutal fun.
I will definitely be doing that. Now, we still have some top 5s left in our little bucket, and we've got one for this week.
We do. You know how? And can I tell you how? Well, I take it back. It won't be. I'll just have to. I only wrote things for like half of it, so I'll have to just ad-lib the rest.
It is what it is, you know?
I feel confident enough that I can speak on those 3 matches.
Do you? All right.
No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Good, I didn't think so. Let's start off with our top 5. Top 5 best Hell in a Cell match.
I believe we've around the actual pay-per-view we did our worst Hell in a Cell match list. So here's best. Is that your number 5?
My number. You want me to start? I can
Is
start.
that your number 5?
My number 5. Undertaker versus Edge, SummerSlam 2008. I thought this one was a very, very well done. And plus, it's got two really great workers in my mind, and that's why I just put it at my number 5. I actually just watched this not that long ago. So that was fresh in my mind. So that is my number 5, Undertaker vs. Edge, SummerSlam 2008. And you're going to see a theme with all 5 of mine.
Well, I believe I know what you're going to say, and here's the thing: it's going to be very difficult to avoid that theme. It will. So number 5 for me goes even farther back to No Mercy of 2002, when the Undertaker battled Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
Bork.
And you got that iconic, like, just the two of them were having a brutal rivalry to begin with, and then you got that
they always
iconic, well, to be continued. But then you had that iconic shot of bloody Brock.
Oh
on
yeah,
top of the cell with the belt. They beat the dog out of each other. It was just a physical, brutal contest. And then, as you said, wouldn't be the last time that they'd beat the piss out of each other.
Not at all. At number 5, my number 4 is Undertaker and Steve Austin versus Mankind and Kane. And this was not on a pay-per-view.
That match from Raw?
This is on Raw in 1998. You know, the match had plenty of high spots, a lot of blood, but it was on TV. It wasn't on pay-per-view, and it was free.
Wasn't it the one that was like a week or two before King of the Ring 1998, and Mankind took an ass bump off the cell onto the table?
I think so.
Essentially, he took like almost a nesty plunge.
What more, like, it was only like, 10, 15 minutes long because it was TV, but it was still a great match. And looking for like some of these up to do my top 5, I found this one and I was like, well, I'm going to put that on the list, definitely.
Paul Bearer was cornered for a little bit.
I think so.
As Taker was trying to sock him down. Interesting enough that you say that, because my number 4 takes us 1 or 2 weeks in the future from that cell match to the one that everyone remembers. Yes, it is that one, number 4. Which this may be blasphemy for me to slot it in at number 4, but that is The Undertaker and Mankind at King of the Ring 1998. What your Raw match was leading to, which was quite possibly the worst night of Mick Foley's life if you don't count the Royal Rumble 99, or the Kawasaki Dream in 1995.
Oh my God.
Or that night in Germany where Vader ripped his ear off.
Oh, that is true.
Man, Mick has had some rough nights.
Yes.
Which is why this is why, like, if he could survive all of those nights, COVID doesn't have a fucking chance.
No.
But
COVID took Mick Foley. I'm leaving my house
cage.
because I'm not taking a chance. If it killed Mick Foley with everything else he's been through and not died, I'm not going anywhere.
Thankfully, he seems to be on the mend.
Yes. That's number 4. My number 3, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Steve Austin, Rikishi, The Rock, and Undertaker, Armageddon 2000. I think this was like the 6-pack. This is where I think Undertaker threw Rikishi off of the cage into like a truck with a bunch of hay in it or something.
It's the back bump into the gerbil bedding truck.
Yes,
that you could see when they parked the truck. You could see the giant pad in the back of it. You can look past it just to see a man nearly 400 pounds falling off the frickin' cage.
Just like when Undertaker threw Shane McMahon off of the cage on the announce table, you could see the pad under the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could have tried to angle your camera differently so we wouldn't see that, but it is what it is.
If there's no way to do a stunt without revealing that it's a stunt, just don't do the stunt.
Don't do it.
Just don't do the stunt.
No, not at all. So that's my number 3. Kurt Angle, Triple H, Undertaker, Austin, Rikishi, and The Rock, Armageddon 2000.
To continue that thread, made by one Commissioner Mick Foley, which got Commissioner Mick Foley fired. The main storyline into that was obviously the 6 of them coming together for the title and trying to figure out how is Kurt Angle, with hair back then, going to survive with all these guys and in the Hell in the Cell, and he manages to pull it out. But there's so much damage done that McMahon fires Foley the next night, and there was a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's my number 3.
All right. Mine,
Ooh.
surprise, surprise,
Ooh.
does not fit the mold.
Ooh.
My number 3 comes from Hell in a Cell 2017. It's the New Days and the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and in my humble opinion, the best of the new generation of Hell in a Cell matches. Because there's a line, but this thing was still physical. It was still brutal. They did all the over-the-top spots, but it's not been as gory, and that's been mostly wiped from the product. Plus, they had that fun spot of, what was it, the New Day trapping one of the Usos in the corner of the cell by stringing a bunch of kendo sticks in there. Great spot. Brilliant spot.
I love it.
Brilliant freaking spot.
That's your number 3. My number 2, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, Bad Blood 1997. This match was also the same match that Kane debuted, ripping the cell door off of the cage and going up and just facing off with The Undertaker. The brother returns, or debuts. Bad Blood 1997. That is my number 2. So we all know what my number 1 is. Go ahead. What's your number 2?
I know what yours is.
Yeah.
Your number 2. Well, tell you what, it is hard to top the original. Like you said, plus the debut of Kane. Shawn was in a good mood and gave his body to the match. Taker gave his body. Remember that sick pile driver onto the bottom step? Shawn bled like a stuck pig. Remember, through the cell roof onto the camera. They set the standard for what a Hell in the Cell match should be. Like, no question asked, and it's been tough, very tough to meet that level of brutality on that one. So before you get to your number 1, obviously,
I don't have any honorable mentions.
Well, maybe. Do you have any honorable mentions for
No.
today? Okay, well, you. Let me get the 3 out of the way. The one you already talked about, of course, Undertaker and Edge at SummerSlam of 2008. Let us not be remiss that the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar 2 at Hell in a Cell 2015 was just as brutal and worth your time, as was the Undertaker and Triple H, the end of an era at WrestleMania 28.
I almost put that on there.
And which we're gonna get in trouble if I didn't mention, but still at the same point, Sasha Banks and Charlotte at Hell in a Cell 2016. Take away all the history that went with that. That was still pretty damn brutal matchup.
Pretty damn brutal matchup.
Okay, get your number 1 out of the way.
My number 1 you've already mentioned. That was your number 4, Undertaker versus Mankind, King of the Ring 1998. Mankind being thrown off the cage, through the announcing table, being put on a stretcher, going up the ramp, gets off the stretcher about midway, almost close to top, maybe almost to the top of the ramp, comes back, climbs back up the cage. Undertaker trying to figure out, what the hell are you doing? So he goes back up, and then Mankind going through the cage roof, down the floor, Tooth
almost dying,
almost dead. Tooth,
legit.
I think the chair, the cage, or something came through also and fell on top of him. His tooth coming through his lip.
Well, that's why
COVID is not going to kill Mankind, kill Mick Foley, because he's already died 6,000 other freaking times.
Yeah, that was the bump that actually came the closest to doing permanent damage, because they had used a chair on top, and it was sitting on the panel. So it went through, or he went through, and the chair went through. So when he hit the chair, legit knocked him out. That's the famous story of him waking up and seeing a pair of shoes in the ring and having no idea.
And then I think
a pair of sneakers there after Terry Funk bought him some time,
and I think
chokeslammed out of his shoes.
One of the best scenes is when he goes to the corner and is like climbing up the ropes and is like leaning over to the camera, and you see his tooth, or him stick his tongue through his lip. Just to,
that's what he said. He was trying to do, like, everyone's like, I believe JR, he's smiling, he likes the punishment. And he said later, I was trying to push my the tooth through my lip with my tongue. That's why I was doing that.
Which was freaking hilarious. Like, one of the best shots of the whole match is that. The little goriest looking thing is watching him trying to shove a tooth through his lip. It was the greatest thing ever. That's my number 1 is Undertaker Mankind King of the Ring 1998.
And y'all call me sick because I've seen watched a bunch of Japanese death matches. And then you get this dude put his tooth through his face. That's awesome.
Pretty sweet. That was a great camera. It was a great camera shot. The camera shot of that kind of just put into perspective everything that had just happened of him going off the top, through the table, going through the ring, everything. It's kind of put it all in perspective. Like, this dude's taking a lot of shit.
I do highly encourage it. I believe there's a network doc on it, or at the very least, there's a YouTube video of the two of them watching that match within the last year or two, and watching it back and talking about it. I highly recommend going back and it's one of those where, like, those 15 minutes, there's hours and hours worth of stories contained in that 15 minutes, and it's well worth your time to go seek that out. However, my number one is something that you didn't even mention before. It wasn't anywhere on your list. I'm afraid, unfortunately, it might have become overshadowed by the bigger match. But I contend that my number one was even more impactful to a certain extent for a little bit. Because at No Way Out 2000, Triple H and Cactus Jack in the cell, title versus career. And I say that I believe that night was far more emotional than King of the Ring, because it was supposed to be the last time we saw Mick in the ring. Now, granted, they did that 6 weeks later and just fucked the whole angle on that one. But that night...
That's never happened before.
But that night, it was far, far more emotional. And thankfully, on the whole, don't get me wrong, Mick still went through the roof and into the ring and broke the ring literally with his ass. But it was supposed to break that way. They did it so technically less damage done to Mick in this one. But this thing had everything. Even on the top of the cell, when Mick grabbed that barbed wire wrapped 2x4 and lit that son of a bitch on fire.
Love it.
Which is exactly how Mick put it in his DVD. Yeah, you want to talk about a bloody, physical, just all... I mean... It's back when Triple H did like surgical jobs to himself. So if he cut himself, he was going to bleed for 6.5 days. Those kind of things. There's just so much in that match. So much in that match.
I like it.
Which,
I like it.
To me, makes it the best Hell in a Cell match of all time.
All right. There you are. There's our top 5 best Hell in a Cell matches for our first episode of season 3 here on The Finisher. Dan, do you have the bucket for the leftover 4 or 5?
I have got a secret for you, and this may be good or not, because it means that we have nearly 3 weeks to figure out what the hell we're going to put in this segment spot, because I have 3 slips of paper in this cup, and that's it.
All right.
So as of next week, as we prepare... maybe from 2 weeks, because
we may not do the top 5 next week because we will have predictions.
We'll have a lot to get to. So in 2 weeks, when we get back to the first post-Rumble episode here, you're going to struggle like hell with this.
Oh, great.
In 2 weeks, we're going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to have to write a whole ton, but I have the time, because we're going to do our top 5 Ring of Honor World Champions. Have you seen Ring of Honor television ever?
Yes.
Were you there at the Ring of Honor, the Survival of the Fittest event that was done here in Toledo?
Yes.
Several years ago.
No, but you were though.
I was there. Baby. I have the DVD. You know what I should do at some point?
Right. Sticky note placed.
Now that I have days off, I should just kind of wander on. Bring that. I have the DVD somewhere. Should drop just randomly drop by the house and make you watch Survival of the Fittest. See if you can hear us heckling from the third row.
Nice. That's awesome. So that is our top 5 not next week, because we got predictions for the Rumble. And
yes,
predictions for our Rumble are pretty big.
I was going to say, it's going to be interesting. We have, we have 3, the 2 Rumbles and then 2 other 2 announced matches. I assume there'll be 1 more, maybe 2 more.
Yes, because I think one year... I think our first season, we did predictions for the Rumble.
Yeah, we're not doing that again, because when I say we did predictions for the Rumble, we tried to figure out who, all of the...
I thought it was fun.
I found the pages. We tried to name out who was coming
out where. I have them too. Yeah, I think it was fun.
Yeah, and we didn't have to score it then. Thank Christ.
I say each person you get right is 1 point. Each match you get right is 1 point, and each entrant into the Rumble, if you guessed it correctly, like number 20, Santina Marella for the women's, because that happened last year. You get 1 point.
I know.
That was
I
the stupidest thing ever. Stupid.
Miss WrestleMania 25.
Stupid.
Still. Anyway, so we'll figure it out. We'll see what we get. We'll see what ends up getting announced between then and there, and then we will welcome back our reigning finisher predictions champion.
Zach will be back. Lisa, I'm guessing, will be back to do to try to catch her first championship win.
Mm-hmm.
And so until then, I think that's all we got for the first episode of season 3.
We promise to do better next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Though it won't be us for the hour ourselves. So
yes, we'll have some other people with
shit.
us. So thank you for joining us. Make sure you check out some of the friends of our show real quick. Let's go ahead and plug all these guys. If you're a fan of comic books, check out Comic Chaos Podcast. That's everything superheroes, and the guy actually even writes comics, does all this stuff, so he knows what he's talking about. If you're a fan of racing, check out Hammer Down Racing Report. If you're a fan of music, Dan?
Oh, right. This is what I'm supposed to take over because you want to check out fairlykickass.com, the Fairly Kickass, the podcast on Spotify. We are Spotify exclusive, and you'll find out why, because we get to actually play you the songs we talk about there. And coming up in, I believe, 2-3 weeks. So next week we'll talk about our best of the first month of the year, and then afterwards we're going to debut a brand new project we're working on, and I'm really excited to hear how this comes out. So we're kind of sort of calling it the discography project. So we're taking a look at an artist and listening to their whole discography and kind of getting a feel of the career, and it's actually been a very fun one to go. So the first episode of the discography project at fairlykickass.com will be the Divinals. Yes, the group that touched themselves. There was a lot more to that band than just some self-love, and I can't wait. It's actually going to be a lot of fun. We've all actually had a lot of fun listening and writing for this one, so that'll be fun.
Very cool.
And if you happen to be a fan of Pain, obviously you want to go up to YouTube and search for What Tales.
We just filmed the first 4 episodes.
We're in season 2.
Of season 2.
We survived somehow.
Somewhat.
And despite Jerry's best efforts, we're going to keep going on. I don't think this man will be satisfied. This sick son of a bitch will be happy until he gets vomiting on camera.
Nope.
And
Not going to be happy until one of you throw up. Because then I can
refuse
digitally
to give him the
superimpose you
pleasure.
throwing up a rainbow.
I refuse to give him the pleasure of a reversal of fortune. I'm doing everything within my will every single week to make sure that the worst of the bar of whatever we can get from behind the bar is not turning my insides to the out.
And if you watch the show, you know Marla, she has some things ready. I will tell you.
Oh no, we're gonna have some stuff for her ass.
She's
At some point, she will be in the vicinity. We'll have something for her ass.
She will be. Sorry, she will. She does have some things ready that I'm about 85% sure will turn one of your stomachs.
Are we on the shoot here, boss?
I'm just saying.
You were there last. I'm just trying to figure. 'Cause you were there last night. You know
I was
how
there.
this shit goes.
I was there.
Are we trying to promo here?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know she's got some stuff in the books. She's got some stuff set aside. So make sure you are checking out What Tales. What Tales on Facebook. What Tales on YouTube. Anything we've talked about, huh?
Do you need the board back? You want YouTube obviously on
No.
YouTube, but they're also What Tales on Facebook, on the Twitter, on
Twitter,
the Instagram apparently, and on TikTok.
Make sure you check out thefinisherpodcast.com for everything we just mentioned, for all the songs like the Comic Chaos, the Hammer Down Racing, Fairly Kick-Ass, What Tales, everything. All of that's right there with friends of the show. Go check that out. Our website has all everywhere where our podcasts are at, everywhere you can find us, and the friends of the show, and the blogs, and all that kind of stuff there. So check out thefinisherpodcast.com. Until next week, What are you laughing at?
I'm just amused. I shouldn't be amused by myself, but I am.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what you were talking about. I was watching myself throw deuce at you. That's all I can.
I know you were. So until next week, we'll see you guys right back here on the Finisher Podcast on Facebook. Have a great day. Maybe. Hit it.
I'm gonna get you a brand new button, one that works.